Okay, members, we're going to move back to file item 78. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 61 by Senator Hill, an acrolein to ignition interlock devices.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. Currently, there is a 4-county ignition interlock device pilot program taking place in Los Angeles, Sacramento, Tulare, and Alameda counties. All DUI offenders in these counties are required to install an IID for varying lengths of time to reduce recidivism and save lives. This bill extends the sunset by 1.5 years from December 2015 to July 2017, so the legislature can review the report on the program, which is due out later this year, and determine the best way to move forward in 2016. Without this legislation, the DMV report will be released when the program sunsets, and the legislature won't have an opportunity to decide if it wants to continue, expand, or end the pilot program. I ask for your aye vote on the extension.
Thank you, Senator Hill. Any debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to our unanimous roll call? Ayes 37, noes 0, measure passes. Members, let's move forward now to file item 79. Senator Liu, pass on file. File item 80. Senator Fuller. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 115 by Senator Fuller, an acrolein to disease prevention and making appropriation therefore.
Senator Fuller.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members. Thank you for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 115 relating to valley fever vaccine research. Cases of valley fever have been reported in many counties in California. The highest annual incident rates were in Kern, Kings, Fresno, San Luis Obispo, Tulare, and Madera County, although it's been found in several other states as well as other counties in California. Valley fever is caused by air or soil disturbance of fungi, which live and breed within the soil. When the dust containing these spores is breathed in, the fungus can attack the respiratory system, causing infection that can lead to symptoms resembling a cold, influenza, or pneumonia. In the most severe cases, the fungus can spread to the brain. California has had a significant increase in valley fever cases over the past decade, and the recent drought will probably make this worse given there is much blowing dust. Because there's currently no cure, the fungus will always remain in the patient's body. Valley fever is costly and debilitating, and so SB 115 is needed to complete research in progress on the valley fever vaccine and provide protection for at-risk citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Fuller. Any debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing none, 36 ayes 36, noes 0, measure passes. Members will now move to file item 81. Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 118 by Senator Liu, an act relating to public health.
Senator Liu.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 118 updates, expands the existing framework on how school-based health centers are funded and operated. The bill modifies current grant amounts to reflect how schools leverage existing funding streams to support their school-based health centers. It also adds a new grant for programs specifically targeting substance abuse, obesity issues, and mental health issues. School-based health centers are locally designed to meet the specific needs of the student population. They are an effective anchor for a broader community school strategy that supports student success and healthier communities. SB 118 has reached the Senate floor with unanimous bipartisan support from the Senate Education, Health, and Appropriations Committee, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Liu. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none. Members, any objection to using the unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 37, noes 0. Ayes 35, noes 0. Measure passes. File item 82. Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 123 by Senator Liu, an act relating to Medi-Cal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, SB 123 addresses the School Medi-Cal Administrative Activities Program, otherwise known as SMA. This bill would require the legislative analysts in consultation with the state departments of education and healthcare services to review and prepare specific recommendations to improve the administration and oversight of the SMA activities program. Deficiencies in internal controls and program oversight by California's Department of Healthcare Services has caused the federal government to suspend funding that supports a significant number of health and mental health services for our neediest students. As a result, California schools have not been reimbursed for services they provided under the program. Hundreds of school districts and charter schools are owed hundreds of millions of dollars in funds going back to 2010. I requested a state audit of DHCS and its oversight of SMA. That audit is now underway with findings and recommendations expected this summer. SB 123 will build on the recommendations of the state audit and create a pathway to ensure the effectiveness of these critical federal funds. The SMA program must be operated at a level that meets the benchmark of national best practices in order to meet the needs of California's most vulnerable children. Improving school-based health services is a critical strategy to address the achieving gap in our schools and health and education equity issues in California. That requires greater transparency and effective coordination between California's health and education systems. This bill has passed to the Senate floor also with unanimous bipartisan support, and I ask for your aye vote on this bill.
Thank you, Senator Liu. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none. Members, any objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing none. Ayes 36, noes 0. Measure passes. Members, we will move now to file item 83. Senator Pan, Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 144 by Senator Pan, an act relating to water resources.
Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I rise to bring you SB 144, a bill that would modify the state authorizations for flood control projects along the American and Sacramento rivers and around the Natomas Basin to comport with the final feasibility study for the American River watershed. This bill would modify existing state authorizations for projects within the framework of the Water Code in order to ensure that the historic federal, state, local cost-sharing partnership is continued and construction moves forward as quickly as possible. The constructed projects will increase the ability of the existing flood control system, protect heavily urbanized areas within the city of Sacramento and the counties of Sacramento and Sutter against very rare floods, and as evidenced by the environmental impact reports certified in connection with these projects. If you ever want to fly back out of our airport, please vote for this bill, respectfully for our aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pan. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none. Members, any objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing none. Ayes 36, noes 0. Measure passes. File item 84, Senator Hernandez. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 147 by Senator Hernandez, an act relating to Medi-Cal.
Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, this bill would establish a pilot program that would change the way Medi-Cal pays federally qualified health centers. In participating counties, this bill would replace the existing per-visit Medi-Cal payment methodology with a capitated system through Medi-Cal managed care plans using the alternative payment methodology upon authorized under federal law. The capitated payment would provide greater flexibility in healthcare delivery for the federally qualified health centers by enabling them to provide different types of healthcare services without having to meet the per-visit billing requirement to generate Medi-Cal revenue. This bill is sponsored by the California Primary Care Association and the California Association of Public Hospitals and Health Systems and LA Care Health Plans. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Hernandez. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines.
Aye.
Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Leno, Leyva, I. Liu, McGuire, I. Mendoza, I. Mitchell, I. Monning, I. Morlock, I. Morrell, I. Wynn, I. Nielsen, Pan, I. Pavley, I. Roth, I. Runner, I. Stone, I. Vidak, I. Wachowski, I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Secretary, call the absent members.
Hall, I. Lada, Leno, Liu, I. Nielsen.
Ayes 37, no 0. Measure passes. Members, let's move to file item 85. Senator Stone. Pass on file. File item 86, Senator Hernandez. Okay. File item 87, Senator Galgiani. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 162 by Senator Galgiani, an act relating to hazardous waste.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. SB 162 would extend the sunset date on the Treated Wood Waste Program. The Treated Wood Waste Program provides for the safe disposal and handling of wood waste that might otherwise be disposed of in an inappropriate landfill, and also provides worker safety standards. The bill has broad support and no opposition. I respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Galgiani. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, I. Anderson, I. Bates, I. Bell, I. Berryhill, I. Block, I. Canella, I. DeLeon, I. Fuller, I. Gaines,
Aye.
I. Galgiani, I. Glazer, I. Hall, I. Hancock, I. Hernandez, Hertzberg, I. Hill, I. Wesso, I. Huff, I. Jackson, I. Lada, Leno, Leyva, I. Liu, I. McGuire, I. Mendoza, I. Mitchell, I. Monning, I. Morlock, I. Morrell, Wynn, I. Nielsen, Pan, I. Pavley, I. Roth, I. Runner, I. Stone, I. Vidak, I. Wachowski, I. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Hernandez, Lada, Leno, Morrell, Nielsen.
Ayes 35, no 0. Measure passes. Members, we're now going to move to file item 88. Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 172 by Senator Liu, an act relating to pupil testing.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, SB 172 suspends the California high school exit exam for 3 school years, beginning with the 2016-17 school year, or when the exam is no longer available. The contract for the exit exam will expire in October of this year. The last administration of the exam was just a few weeks ago. This bill establishes a working group to carefully consider the future of an exit exam and other measures of proficiency. This working group will provide recommendations to the Superintendent of Public Instruction. SB 172 does not permanently eliminate the exit exam, nor does it specify a successor exam. It simply suspends the requirement to pass the exit exam while the issues are being studied. The exit exam serves as a valuable purpose, but it is not aligned to current academic standards. SB 172 will help us define the next steps, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Liu. Debate or discussion, Senator Huff.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I rise in opposition to this bill. In 1999, this body, before we were here, created the California High School Exit Exam. Then Governor Gray Davis touted it as a cornerstone of educational achievement. Now we want to remove this standard because the test has not been updated for alignment with Common Core standards and is therefore outdated. I got to tell you, when I was in the Assembly and first came here, the debate was already raging to scrap the exam, and so the Education Committee took the exam. And amazingly, only 2 out of about 12 finished it, the chair, Jackie Goldberg, and myself, and thankfully, we both passed. But it just goes to show that years later, 35 or whatever years later, we can still pass that test. And by the way, our education wasn't aligned to the standards either. So what is it that our education is about? Are we just teaching the test? Or are we trying to teach a student that can figure out some basics? Because that's what it is, basics. And so now we would create an advisory panel to provide recommendations. Folks, there's nothing it's gonna be studied to death. It will be killed. And in the meantime, our diploma will mean pretty much nothing. I would urge a no vote on this. Let's keep this running until we figure out what Common Core is, figure out how to do an appropriate test, but until we come up with a replacement, let's not set another advisory thing to make a recommendation that will not be adopted. I ask for a no vote.
Thank you, Senator Huff. Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Mr. President. This appears to be a sabbatical for Common Core, and now that Common Core is being thrust upon us, we should be doing a little more study to see if it's affordable, if it's appropriate, and if it's ready. So I think we should take a sabbatical from Common Core as opposed to the other way around, and I suggest a no vote. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Morlock. Members, any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Liu, would you like to close?
Well, I thank my members for your interest in the bill. We need to upgrade the proficiency test to meet the new standards of Common Core. It does give us a space to do some meeting together, and I think it's really important to get this thing right. So I ask for your support on the bill.
Thank you, Senator Liu. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? No. Bates? No. Bell? Aye. Berryhill? No. Block? Aye. Cannella? No. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines?
No.
No. Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Hueso? Aye. Huff? No. Jackson? Aye. Lara? Leno? Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? No. Murrell? No. Wynn? No. Nilsson? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? No. Stone? Vidak? No. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Glazer? Hill? Aye. Lara? Leno? Nielsen? Stone? No.
Ayes 23, noes 13. Measure passes. Members will now move forward to file item 89. Senator Jackson. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 221 by Senator Jackson, an act relating to public employment.
Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. Today I present to you Senate Bill 221. This bill will provide our disabled veterans who are just entering state employment with a one-time allocation of sick leave so they can attend VA and medical appointments for disabilities that resulted from their time in military service. It would grant new state employees who are deemed 30% or more disabled a total of 96 hours of sick leave beginning on their first day of the job for the purpose of getting that treatment they need as they transition back into employment and viable opportunities after service to our country. Because this is meant as a transition benefit only, until these employees have accrued sufficient sick leave on their own, under this bill, the leave allocation that is not used during the first year of employment would not accrue. For our disabled veterans, this bill will mean an easier transition from military to state service and will show our continued commitment to the men and women who have served our nation. This bill has no opposition, has had no votes. It's got the support of numerous veterans organizations and the California School Employees Association. I would ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Any debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 37, noes 0. Measure passes. Members will now move to file item 90. Senator Galgiani. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 223 by Senator Galgiani, an act relating to invasive aquatic plants and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Right, Senator Galgiani.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I rise today to present SB 223 relative to invasive aquatic plants. Over the past several years, the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta has been plagued with water hyacinth, an invasive aquatic weed that threatens the health and welfare of the Delta as it obstructs waterways and marinas, consumes valuable water resources, creates human health and safety hazards, and damages cherished natural ecosystems by crowding out native plants and wildlife. As the chair of the Senate Subcommittee on Invasive Species, I authored SB 223 to create an oversight committee which would monitor the activities of the Division of Boating and Waterways to make sure that everything is being done to ensure that the water hyacinth and other invasive weeds are controlled and eradicated in the most effective and efficient ways possible. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Galgiani. Senator Berryhill.
Yeah, Mr. President, I question the author.
Senator Galgiani, you willing to accept a question? Yes, Senator Berryhill.
Yeah, I certainly understand the water hyacinth problem in the Delta. It needs fixing. But this bill, is this just for the hyacinths or is this for other problem weeds also?
It's invasive species, but mostly it's requiring the communication, this group to work directly with the Division of Boating and Waterways. And it's a result of hearings, multiple hearings that we've had in the district.
So with the certain types of mussels or whatever else is in there, is that under this?
It's mostly focused on water hyacinth and Agaricus densa.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Berryhill. Members, any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? No. Bates? Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Aye. Block? Aye. Cannella? De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines?
No.
No. Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Huff? Jackson? Aye. Lara? Leno? Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? No. Morrell? No. Wynn? Nielsen? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? No. Stone? No. Vidak? Wykowski? Aye. Wolk? Wolk, aye.
Call the absentees.
Bates? No. Cannella? Huff? No. Lara? Leno? Wynn? No. Nielsen? Vidak? Vidak, aye.
Senator Galgiani moves the call. Members, we'll move forward to file item 91. Senator Hueso. Secretary, please read.